how to read the data from flat file, I mean from delimited file, that we already covered, right? So but still I'll explain it once again. T file input delimited, how we can read the data from flat file, it means from the delimited file. First of all, we'll understand what is delimited file. Okay, so let's say emp file, we have this file. Okay, I have this file where I have data like emp id, name, salary and dpt. We have 4 columns here, and values for also for 4 columns. 101 Ajay, 15,000, and HR is a department name here, right? We have 2 records here. Why I'm calling it as an delimited file? Because here, after each and every field name, the column are separated, the values are separated by comma. So that's why this is comma delimited file. The delimiter can be anything like comma, semicolon, pipe, etc., right? So this is comma delimited file. I wanted to read this file. As an example, I'm just taking 2 records here. In real time you might have 30-40 columns, 50 columns, and you might have millions of records as well, right? For example, we'll read this file from Talend. To read this delimited file, what we need to read delimited file, we need within Talend, with the Talend we have to create a job to read that delimited file. Okay, I'll right click on job design, create job. Let me give job name read underscore delimited file. Okay, read delimited file. Purpose you can give here, description, what this job is all about, author, whoever is creating this job, his name, I mean its email address. As this is open studio, it is not enabled these options here. Okay, if it is a paid one, then you will be get enabled. Once you start working into an organization, you will get a paid version of Talend, so there you will be getting all these options, right? So I have created this job read delimited file. I have given the job name as read delimited file. Let me finish. Once the job is got created, here you can see the palette will be enabled. Okay, now the palette is getting enabled here, right? To get the component, this palette is for getting the components which Talend supports. Talend having here about 1000 plus connectors or components you can call. And to read the delimited file, as I showed you the input file which I have created onto the D drive, to read that file we need a special kind of component for that, to read the delimited file, right? So to read the delimited file, the delimiter can be anything. delimiter का मतलब क्या है? 2 कॉलम को सेपरेट करने के लिए जो चीज़ यूज होती है, दैट इज डिलिमिटर. इट कैन बी कॉमा, सेमीकोलन, कोलन, एनीथिंग, राइट? So that is an input, right? As we are reading the data from Talend, so it will be considered as input. So it is file based component, so I'll be going to file here, and as it is an input, I'll be clicking on input. So to read the delimited file, we have t file input delimited. I'll be dragging this and putting this here. Let me open this component. Once I double click on this component, I will get all the settings here. इस component के regarding जो भी component settings है वो यहाँ पे रहेंगे, right? So I have to choose the file from here. Let me click on these 3 dots. Input source इस folder में मैंने file बनाया, right? This one. Let me click on open here. The path has got changed. emp.txt D drive से है, right? Delimiter अपना comma है, so I'll be putting comma here. Header is coming from very first line. मुझे schema बनाना चाहिए, right? 4 columns है. Let me put it as instead of emp id I'll be putting id only. I'll be putting name and then sal and then dpt. डेटा टाइप हम सेलेक्ट कर सकते हैं यहाँ से as it is numerical values. I'll be putting as integer for id and salary. Here is dollar string, so I'll be putting as string only. Let me click on OK. The setup for t-file input delimited is completed. To display any content which you are reading from Talend, it can be displayed onto the console by using tlog row, right? So we can find out the component from the palette. Here also we can search, or else in working area also you can find out tlog row, right? Right click on t-file input delimited, click on main, connect to tlog row, right? These are the settings for tlog row. Check the second option because it will give you a clear picture of the data which is in the form of table, right? tlog row जैसे ही सोर्स के 4 कॉलम्स है वैसे ही tlog row में भी 4 कॉलम चाहिए हमें. So we'll be clicking on OK. If it is not there, then you can simply click on sync columns. This is component wise settings. You can see here. जब भी मैं इस पर डबल क्लिक करूँगा, under component settings, all the tlog row related settings will be getting displayed. If I click on t-file input delimited, all the t-file input delimited related properties will be getting displayed here. Okay. As of now, we have covered component tab and the run tab is to execute this job. Let me click on run here. So we are having 2 records here, so it should display 2 records. The first line is header as we checked it as header. So first line will be ignored and we are reading only 2 records. Correct? If we have any footer, that also we can mention here. वो लास्ट वाले जितने लाइन पे हमने बताया कि footer है, we can ignore those last whatever number of lines we have. Okay. If we have multiple lines of header like 10 lines, 2 lines, उतने हम यहाँ पे mention करेंगे. Those many rows from the starting, it will be getting ignored. Okay. This is to read the data from delimited file as it is a delimited file, comma delimiter, right? Next, we can load this data into t-file output delimited as well, right? हमने फाइल से रीड किया डेटा, हम लोग उसको t-file delimited फाइल में ही लोड भी कर सकते हैं. t-file output delimited. Okay, we have this component. Right click on t-file input delimited, row main and connect to t-file output delimited. यहाँ पे हमें path set करना है कहाँ पे output file बनना चाहिए. I'll be clicking on output files. File name I'm not giving here, so from here I can change the file name. I want emp out.txt. emp out.txt. The delimiter I want is pipe. Okay, and I don't want append, I want header to be included. Okay, and let me control S here. Okay, check the schema whether it is created or not. Yes, it is into t-file output delimited as well, as same as t into the previous component called t-file input delimited. यहाँ से यहाँ पे कॉलम्स सेम है कि नहीं चेक करना चाहिए, बिकॉज यहाँ से डेटा हम लोग यहाँ पे लोड करने वाले हैं, राइट? सो इफ़ वी हैव 3 columns here, 4 columns here, so 1 column won't be getting data, right? So that's why take care of having same number of columns into source and a column. It means we will get the exact data, right? Let me go to run tab. प्रीवियस जो भी आउटपुट है उसको हम क्लियर कर सकते हैं यहाँ से. क्लिक ऑन रन. वंस वी एग्जीक्यूटेड, tlog row हमारे यहाँ पे नहीं है तो आउटपुट कंसोल पे एग्जीक्यूट नहीं होगा, मतलब दिखेगा नहीं. आउटपुट डिलिमिटेड, whether it is created or not, let's check. इनपुट सोर्सेस, आउटपुट सोर्सेस में देखते हैं emp out.txt. This is the name which we have given for output file. Let's check the delimiter we have given pipe, right? दो रिकॉर्ड्स हमारे सोर्स से आ रहे, दो ही रिकॉर्ड टारगेट में भी अवेलेबल है, right? So this is t file output delimited. We can generate the output file as well. Okay, include header will include the header line for the output file. Okay, append option, if we execute the job multiple time, the data will be getting appended to the file which is already created there, emp out.txt. If I execute this once again, the file should be overridden. Now it's thrown an error. Why? Because first read the error what it is saying. T file output delimited is already exist, so it is not able to generate the file once again. This is because of the option is enabled in advanced setting of t file output delimited, which says in advanced settings throw an error if the file is already exist. If you uncheck this, this will override the file each and every time whenever you execute the job. I have executed the job now, see, right? Let's check whether the file is 820, right? T file output delimited has generated emp out.txt, right? The next option, if I check this option, append, each time whenever you execute the job, पहले वाला डेटा इरेज नहीं होगा, फाइल भी ओवरराइड नहीं होगी. The file what it will done, the file will append the data to the existing file. उसी डेटा के नीचे आने वाला नेक्स्ट जो भी डेटा है वो अपेंड होते हुए जाएगा by using the append option. I have executed the job has successfully done. Let's check the file. See, I have executed it twice. पहले वाला डेटा यहाँ पे है, it is got appended here below, right? T file output delimited. T file input delimited is to read the delimited file. T file output delimited is a component to generate the delimited file, right, as an output file onto the given location. Okay. T-log row, a component which we saw, which is capable to display the content onto the console. Next component we'll see T-sort row. Let me generate some records here. emp file 103 104 105 I have 5 records here. Let me create one more job here. T sort row. Same component I wanted to use to read the file here. T log row to display the content onto the console. Table view. Let's execute the job first. Let's check the data, whether we are able to read the data or not. Now the next component we are going to see is T sort row. whatever data we have, we can sort the data, the incoming data we can sort on the given condition, on the given column. T sort row. T sort row is equivalent to order by clause from SQL. Okay, सेम काम करता है जैसे अपना order by clause काम करता है. We can apply the sort logic on the any of the column or multiple columns to sort the data. First of all, check the columns. source जैसे ही अपने T sort row में भी columns आ गए, right? So this is the criteria where we can apply sort on the basis of ID. Also we can sort the data. I wanted to sort the data on the basis of sal, means salary से data मुझे sort करना है, ascending descending, छोटी salary से बड़ी salary से मुझे data को sort करना है. Here the data is of type what? Numerical, alpha or date. What it is? It is number, right? Salary is of number type. So data जब sort होगा consider करेंगे कि वो numerical है, numbers हैं, right? So I want it in ascending order. Let me save this and let me put it tlog row to display whatever data will be getting sorted according to the logic which we have given into tsort row. Sync columns, go to run tab, clear and run. See, the data is sorted on the basis of salary column, 10,000, 15, 20, 40 and 60. If I put it at instead of ASC, if I put descending, it will be arranging the data on the basis of salary column in the descending order, बड़ी salary से छोटी salary तक. The first log row is simply displaying the records as it is coming from the source. Second T log row is placed after T sort row, right? So that's why T sort row का logic क्या है? Data को sort करना है on the basis of what column? Salary column, and in the order of descending. बड़ी salary से छोटी salary तक जाना है, right? सबसे बड़ी salary 60,000, then 40, 20, 15 and 10. So according to this sal column, we are applying the sort here. The sort is the tsort component is used to sort the data on the basis of any given column in the ascending or descending order. And we need to mention whether it is alpha or it means string or numerical or date type. This is to sort the data. Next component, we can filter the data. Within same component, I'll just take an example. T filter row. Filter row is used to filter the data. Okay, all are same columns. T filter row में भी हमने सारे columns ले लिए यहाँ से, automatically वो आ गए जब हम connect करते हैं. I am connecting to T filter row from to T log row 2. Within T filter row, I am going to apply what filter condition I wanted to put. Here I wanted to put DEPT function, whether you wanted to apply lower case, upper case, input value को convert करके then match करना है, whether it is upper case, lower case, जो कुछ भी है. DPT equals to value I wanted to give HR, right? HR. DPT equals HR, then only get the record. Whatever records are satisfying that condition will be getting the record into the output. See, only HR related data is coming there, right? Here the logical operator, if the data is HR, I mean department is HR, then only we are putting the data. Here you can logical operator you can use and or. Same logical operator हमने यूज़ किया था SQL में to add multiple conditions. here मुझे चाहिए DPT HR वाले, और और मुझे चाहिए DPT IT वाली भी, लेट्स से इक्वल्स टू IT. Okay, let me save this. Or operator, what it says is any of the condition is record satisfying, then extract that record. एक भी कंडीशन है सेटिस्फाई कर रहा है रिकॉर्ड, पहला वाला रिकॉर्ड फर्स्ट कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई कर रहा है, दूसरा वाला रिकॉर्ड दूसरी से कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई कर रहा है. सो दैट्स वाई ऑल द रिकॉर्ड्स आर सेटिस्फाइंग एट लीस्ट वन कंडीशन. एंड और ऑपरेटर व्हाट इट सेज, एटलीस्ट एक कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई होना चाहिए, सेम एज लाइक सीक्वल, राइट. इफ आई एम पुटिंग एंड ऑपरेटर, ओके, let me check the data. I want data for HR department and ID should be 105. ID should be 105. ID equals to 105. ID equals to 105. Let me clear it. I have kept AND operator. What AND says is both of the conditions should be satisfied. See, we are getting only one record. Why? Because AND operator से दोनों कंडीशन को हम एग्जीक्यूट करेंगे. फर्स्ट DPT इज इक्वल्स टू HR एंड ID इज इक्वल्स टू 105. दोनों कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई होना चाहिए, बिकॉज एंड लॉजिकल ऑपरेटर सेज इज बोथ ऑफ द कंडीशन शुड बी सेटिस्फाइड, शुड एंड मस्ट बी satisfied by each record, then only that record will be getting extracted, right. So T filter row applying this logic, DPT HR रहना चाहिए और ID 105 रहना चाहिए, and operators, right. So both of the conditions satisfy होंगे, वही record आगे जाएगा. Okay, here I am not passing the value in the double quotation because it is a numerical value, correct. So that's why I am passing as it is. Here few of the examples we have, the functions we have, your incoming values we can convert into different, like DPT. I am simply passing the DPT values HR. let's say फाइल जो है मेरा, वहाँ पे किसी डिपार्टमेंट का वैल्यू ऐसा है, किसी का ऐसा है, किसी का ऐसा है, ठीक है, बट सारे HR ही हैं. बाय मिस्टेक while loading the data into this file, system made some mistake. This is the file coming from some of our client, suppose, ठीक है, and they are keeping the file in some location. From there our talent is responsible to read this data from this file, and we are loading it into target somewhere. Okay, while filtering the data, I want only HR related data into this output, right. So मैं जब चेक कर रहा हूँ DPT equals to HR, then how many records I will get? Let's see. Because while checking the data against this condition, none of the conditions are records are satisfying this condition, because the value is case sensitive. While matching this value HR against the incoming value DPT column में जो भी value आ रहा है, that is somewhere lower case, upper case, it is mixed in a variant, right. So we have to convert it according to the value which you have passed. हमें वो सारे चाहिए, सबका मीनिंग हम लोग एक ही समझने वाले हैं. इन दैट केस व्हाट वी कैन डू, कन्वर्ट द इनकमिंग DPT कॉलम का वैल्यू इनटू अपर केस. यहाँ से अपर केस में आएगा HR डिपार्टमेंट वैल्यू, और इस अपर केस वैल्यू के साथ मैच होगा, राइट. इन दैट केस ऑल द रिकॉर्ड्स विच हैविंग the HR value, whether it is lower case, upper case, all will be converted into upper case and matched against the value which we have passed into the filter row, and records will be satisfying all the conditions here. Clear everyone? Is this clear? Filter row we are done. T unite is a component to combine the result from one or more sources, right? Let me take same file. No, we'll be reading one more file here, emp and emp1. ठीक है, इसमें इतना डेटा है, emp1 so we have two records into emp1 file. अब हम क्या करेंगे, सेकेंड टी फाइल इनपुट डिलीमिटेड से emp1 रीड करेंगे, बाकी सारी सेटिंग्स सेम है, राइट? टी लॉग रो 2 टेबल व्यू एज इट इज रीड करेंगे डेटा, कंट्रोल एस, गो टू रन टैब, क्लियर एंड रन हियर. Both of the tlog row you can see the first file which is emp is getting loaded from this flow. Second flow, second subjob is capable to read emp1 file जहाँ पे हमारे सिर्फ दो records 5 and 2. I wanted to combine the result from these two input sources into one. So what we can do is we can use tunite component to combine the results from two or more input sources. Connect it to tunite, connect it to tunite. This component is equivalent to your union all component, right? यहाँ पे हमें कुछ settings करनी पड़ेंगी because it is showing an error here. Sync column as the source is source having id names salary department same as, okay? This is bringing one file, this is bringing one another file data. I wanted to combine the result from both of the sources. So let me add one more tlog row here, make it table view, put it here, let me connect it to tlog row 3 here, okay? Sync columns, if I execute this job, it should combine the data from both of the pipelines into one. So that is the use case of tunite component, to combine the result from two or more incoming pipelines, okay? So we can have one more pipeline as well to combine the result. We need only one tunite component, okay? So the next component is tunique row. As tunite is a component where it can read the data from two or more incoming sources. It is capable to read the data from two or more incoming sources, as well as it will keep the duplicate even if it is having same as like union all from SQL, right? SQL में क्या है, union all में duplicates भी carry करते हैं, union में duplicate eliminate होता है, तो tunite is equivalent to union all of SQL, right? So next thing we will see tunique row. So if I execute this job, let's see what will happen. We are reading some records, 5 records we have, right? Let me check the file, emp file we are reading. Same file records, let me put here. I have all the duplicate records, सारे records का हर एक का एक नया कॉपी है अपने पास, ठीक है. T unique row. Let me connect from T file input delimited to T unique row. On the basis of what column you are considering the record is duplicate, so according to that it will eliminate those records. अभी हम रिकॉर्ड को कौन से कॉलम के बेसिस पे डुप्लीकेट कहेंगे. सो एंटायर रिकॉर्ड डुप्लीकेट है या फिर आईडीज डुप्लीकेट है, आईडीज एंड नेम डुप्लीकेट है, दैट वी कैन कंसीडर फ्रॉम हियर. आई हैव कंप्लीट रिकॉर्ड इज डुप्लीकेट. सारे कॉलम्स के वैल्यूज जब सेम नेक्स्ट रो में भी दिखेंगे, दैट विल बी कंसिडर्ड एज डुप्लीकेट इन माई केस. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, देन आई विल बी चूजिंग ऑल ऑफ देम एज key attribute. Okay, let me connect it to tlog row here. As I have 10 records into the source, right? If I run this, how many records I should get? 5 only, because from source I am reading 10 records, but in the target we are getting only 5 records क्योंकि 5 तो duplicate है, right? So it is, the T unique row is capable to eliminate the duplicate on the basis of given column. Let's see. Let me go to emp now. We have these many records here. Okay, we have 2 records which are duplicate, 101 का, और यहाँ पे हमने ये सेम रिकॉर्ड यहाँ पे अवेलेबल है. तो अब अपने पास 2 ही रिकॉर्ड मिलेंगे. जब मैं एग्जीक्यूट करूँगा जॉब, मुझे 2 ही रिकॉर्ड्स मिलेंगे. क्लियर एंड रन. ओके, आई हैव वन मोर रिकॉर्ड. फॉर एग्जाम्पल 101 अजय, 25,000, or let's say 15,000 only, and he is into IT department. Now these 2 records are duplicate, but on which columns? कौन से कॉलम के बेसिस पे डुप्लीकेट है? On the basis of ID column, on the basis of ID and name column, on the basis of ID, name and salary column. But when we consider ID, name, salary and DPT column, so these 2 records are unique records. Okay, when I execute this job now, on the basis of all the columns we are checking, the record should be duplicated. So this record is not duplicate against any other record present into this file now. Let me clear and run. So we got this record 101 अजय HR. ऐसे ही 2 रिकॉर्ड थे फाइल में, लेकिन उसके अगेंस्ट 1 रिकॉर्ड मिला मुझे. सो दिस वन इज़ वन मोर रिकॉर्ड, बट हियर IT इज़ द डिपार्टमेंट विच इज़ डिफरेंट, राइट. यहाँ पे हमने क्या चेक किया है? सारे कॉलम्स हमारे सेम होने चाहिए with each the record which we are considering as duplicate. If I consider only ID column, on the basis of ID column अगर duplicate record है, then eliminate that and take 1 copy from them. So from on the basis of ID column कितने records हैं? These 3 records are duplicate, first, third and fourth. इन सारे records के against एक random record लेगा वो it should be mostly, I think, first or last. Okay, let me save this and execute to see which record it will bring. See, one record we got, the very first record, correct? On the basis of first column, 3 records are duplicated. It depends on which attribute key you are choosing to consider that record is duplicate against the any other record. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here one more checkbox is there. Okay, case sensitive. You wanted to check it as case sensitive or non case sensitive. As of now, I didn't check it as case sensitive. Okay, if it is case sensitive, then what it will check is when it is validating the data against any other record, तब क्या करेगा? अगर ये स्मॉल केस में है आई टी, ठीक है, this IT or Ajay is in small case, and this Ajay, sorry, let me consider this is a duplicate. ये दोनों first and last is a duplicate record. Let's say Ajay जो है वो small letter में, complete Ajay is in small letter. Okay, when we are considering as in case sensitive, okay, for that particular column, then this record and this record as are different. Okay, name column पे हमने क्या लगाया है? case sensitive. Let's say we are checking these two checking the data on the basis of all the columns. Duplication हमने सारे columns पे check करना है, लेकिन name column हमें check करना है. It should be case sensitive, otherwise the name should be considered as different if they are not same in case sensitive. They are upper case sometimes or lower case अलग अलग हैं, तो then it will be considered as different record. यहाँ पे हम लोग जब देखेंगे ये records, ये दोनों records, अगर ये small case में है then in that case this record will be a different record from the first one. Okay, clear, everyone? T replicate. Sync columns, source target columns, T replicate के columns same है, right? T log row, connect to T log row, table view, sync columns, control S, go to run tab. What is the use of now T replicate component? If you want the same result for multiple times to apply some other business logic, then you can use T replicate. Right click, row, main, connect to T log row 2. Okay, T log row 2, table view, sync columns, go to run tab. सेम रिजल्ट मल्टीपल टाइम, यहाँ पे वही रिजल्ट है, वहाँ पे भी वही रिजल्ट है. इफ आई कैन ऐड T log row one more time, again it will give me the same result for the third T log row as well. And then we can think why we need this T replicate component in the pipeline. Suppose you got the result, if you got the result somewhere here, हमने कुछ business logic लगाया वहाँ पे, business logic लगाने के बाद you got some result like 15 records, 1 lakh records, 10 lakh records. You wanted to apply the different business logic onto that, and you wanted to get this data for multiple places. Then you can replicate the data. Incoming data pipeline one ही एक ही है, then you can use that same data into my multiple pipelines. You can replicate the data by using T replicate component. Component name भी बहुत सीधे हैं, easy हैं, you can remember them very easily, but whenever required we have to recall these names. Okay, So this is the use of t-replicate component. You can use the same data set coming from the pipeline at multiple places. There you can replicate the data by using t-replicate component. Okay. Filter columns. T-filter columns. T-filter row is different because T-filter row will work on the basis of data, but here T-filter columns will work on the basis of fields, on the basis of columns, right? So this is capable to eliminate the columns. I don't want, suppose I don't want name column here. Okay, I want only these 3 columns. I put write this. मैंने एक कॉलम निकाल दिया यहाँ से टी लॉग रो. यहाँ पे सिंक कॉलम करूँगा जो टी फिल्टर कॉलम्स में है कॉलम, वही कॉलम मुझे टी लॉग रो में रखना है, राइट. कंट्रोल एस, क्लियर एंड रन. See, I got only a result for these 3 columns. One column I have filtered out by using t-filter columns. Okay. In middle of pipeline, you don't want all the columns to be carried out into the next pipeline or into the next component. You can filter the columns by using t-filter column component. Column हमने drop करना है. Let's say 200 columns, and I don't want all those 200 columns. I need only 100 columns. Only selective columns you can keep by using t-filter column component, and rest of the columns you can eliminate by using this component. Next, t-file properties here. T-file properties. This component is used to get the file properties. This is somewhat different that we will cover in the next session.